Wow. Hey everyone, welcome to That Pedal Show. Dan here.
Mick here, hello.
That was a little refresher of where we left off last week.
Yeah, a little bit of a wig out, so do excuse the indulgence.
Delightful refresher.
If you haven't watched last week's show, or indeed the previous Friday show from That Pedal Show, that was called Your First 3 Guitar Effects Pedals.
I'd be really surprised if you haven't watched it, actually. We've never had 1 million views in a week before. It's amazing.
Yeah. Dream on, dream on. So welcome back if you're joining us from part 1 of this video, or indeed week 1 of this video. And if you're coming to us new, welcome.
Welcome, indeed.
This is your next 3 guitar effects pedals. So regular viewers will know this is a slight departure for us. We normally make really super long form shows and get really tweaky about details.
These are only long.
Yeah, these are just normally long and slightly tweaky about details. They're for those of you who are either newish to pedals or are returning to pedals after years away doing something else.
Yeah.
And in the previous show, we suggested that maybe if you were going to look to put your first 3 guitar effects pedals together, you might want to think about a gain stage, a time-based effect, and a modulation, in which case we chose overdrive, delay, and tremolo. And I think we've got some cool sounds.
Got some great sounds. And not only some great sounds, a vast array of sounds. You know, just with those 3 pedals, the scope that you can create is huge. And so it's a really great place to start. A gain stage, time-based, and modulation.
So you've got your first 3 pedals. They may not be these pedals. They may not be pedals of these type. We are going to add 3 pedals to these to see what happens when we expand. And I suppose, what's the context for a board like this, Dan?
I guess we're after most bang for our buck. We want to be able to cover the most amount of ground. I want to be able to take a board with 6 pedals on it and go to any gig and be able to be comfortable and get some sounds.
And whether you think 6 pedals is too many or not enough, that's up to you.
It's certainly not enough.
So we've got our overdrive, we've got our time-based effect, and we've got our modulation. What's the first thing you would add to that to expand?
So the first thing that I would add is another gain stage. So for this gain stage that we've chosen here, the ODR1, it's really beautiful, very tubey. They call it the natural overdrive, and it does feel very natural. It does, you know, it's got that lovely breakup characteristic. But unless I am changing settings on it all the time, like if I go to do a solo, I'd have to turn down and turn the boost up, you know, to turn the level up. I want to have another gain stage there that I can either go to as a separate sound for a solo, or to take that sound and just make it louder. So for me, ideally, I want some sort of a boost.
Okay, Dan's a fan of boosts. I'm a fan of fuzzes. And most people are fans of overdrive. So we've got one of each. We're just going to audition them quickly, have a listen to 3 very different types of different overdrive stage. And then we'll decide which one we're going to pick and we'll put it on the board.
Lovely. And we're back in the room. We never left the room, but we are back in the room.
First contender, TC Electronic Spark. It's a very, very popular boost pedal that offers up to 20 dB of boost.
Indeed. I thought it was 20 doubloons.
20 doubloons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cheap as chips.
We are in England, right? Yeah. Go for it, Dan. I like it.
It's a sizzly little number.
I like
it's nice.
What I think it might do to the Strat, so it's pushing the amplifier into overdrive there. Depending on what amp you use, it may or may not do that. It might just get louder, or it might put it into overdrive. It's pushing our amp into overdrive a little bit. What I think might be nice on the Strat is that it might give me a bit of extra sizzly nice in the 2 and 4 positions, which sometimes the Strat needs, right?
Yeah, right.
I really like what that's doing.
Yeah. A lot of people really like what that does. It's a really popular pedal for that reason.
Indeed. Another benefit of the boost is you can turn the volume on the guitar down a bit and it stays bright. Okay, contender number 2. Wampler Tumnus.
Wampler.
You may know this is a take on the fabled Klon Centaur circuit, which is kind of a boost plus. It is an overdrive pedal, but lots of people use them as boosts.
Yeah.
And it's pretty nice.
The Klon style circuit has got a lot of mid-range in it, which is really nice. The Tumnus also gives a little bit of bottom end as well. And it's a classic boosty pedal.
Let's hear it. Same thing with the Strat. What I love, I'm a big fan of Klon type pedals. Same thing with the Strat. Let's see what it does on those 2 and 4 positions. I think we could have a fight on our hands.
Yeah, that's really lovely. I think what you could do with that, arguably, is you use it separately as that mid-range sound, and then the combination of the ODR1 and that. But we'll try that out in a bit. The last gain stage we're going to have a look at is a fuzz. Right, Mick, take me to Fuzz Town.
Beetronics Vezzpa. Interesting fuzz pedal. Now, not everyone loves fuzz. I do. It's a wildly different sound than the 2 you've just heard. Let's hear it. We might be a bit previous in suggesting if you're new on the pedal journey, you go for something like a fuzz. But there will be those of you out there who go, oh my goodness, what a dreadful mess. I'm not interested in that at all. And there will be others of you who go, that's the sound I've been looking for.
That's, you know, if I've got 2 gain stages, I want one normal overdrive and I want that mess, angry, buzzy thing.
Yeah. In case you didn't catch it, it's got 2 modes. One is a standard, very gated fuzz, what we call gated fuzz, which means if you turn the volume down, it kind of cuts out and gets really spitty. And then the other mode is an octave fuzz, which you'll know from Hendrix and Ernie Isley and those kind of sounds. So,
it's pretty wonderful.
yeah, pretty wonderful. So there's our 3 gain stages. Dan, your vote goes to?
For me, playing a Telecaster, I'd go with the Spark.
You're going with the Spark. I'd go with the Tumnus.
Right, rock, paper, scissors.
Ready?
Yep.
Oh, do it again. Sorry.
1, 2, 3. Ah! Okay.
Tumnus it is.
All right.
Try not to feel too bad, because I think we can make the Tumnus get pretty close to Spark territory with 0 gain and lots of level.
Yeah.
But what I think we'll discover when we pair it with the ODR1 in the Tumnus is much broader range of available overdrive.
Absolutely. And now it just depends on where we want to put that.
Yeah.
So if we're going to put the Tumnus and use it as a boost in front of the ODR1, and we pair those together, we're pushing our signal into the ODR1. That's going to give us more saturation, more distortion, but not necessarily more volume. However, if we take the sound of the ODR1 and put that into the Tumnus boosted, then we'll get more level coming on the output. So personally, I think we need to put the ODR1 first,
Yep.
and then put the Tumnus second, because that mid-range that the Tumnus gives us, it's just perfect for solo boosts.
We will come back to that when it's on the board.
Okay,
Let us move along.
indeed. Back from somewhere, no, again, doesn't matter. Right, the next pedal, so we've got our 4, we're going to go for pedal number 5. It's going to be another modulation pedal. So the tremolo that we used last week is really beautiful modulating amplitude effect. But what I want is something that's going to give us a bit more color. So I think we're going to choose between a chorus and a rotary speaker.
Yeah, we've done videos on modulation in the past. If you're not sure about chorus, phaser, flanger, please check out one of our older videos. We've gone for a chorus, the very affordable Tone City Angel Wing, which is a bit Boss C2 sounding.
Yeah,
Dan, you like chorus.
I love chorus. It's not bad for 20 quid.
I think it's a little more than 20 quid. I know when he likes it because he keeps playing. What I particularly like about that is you can go from really super wobbly with the speed high to almost flanger with it right down. It's with the speed low.
It's a really great way to get into those sounds. I mean, there's, flanges that I love and choruses that I love. But I tell you what, if you want to dip your toe in that water, what a fantastic way to go.
Sounds killer.
Yeah.
Sounds really killer. Okay, let's go to something entirely different. Whatever. Rotary speaker. We could have chosen phaser. We could have chosen flanger. we've chosen rotary speaker. It's a digital emulation of one of those old-fashioned Leslie cabinets, which has the rotating drum and the horn at the top.
Yep. It gives you a thing called a Doppler effect, and it's a really interesting phase relationship between basically two sounds. And it's,
David
really
Gilmour
cool.
of Pink Floyd was a big fan.
We've actually stood next to his
We
unit.
have. You can also hear it in the breakdown of Badge by Cream.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And Stevie Ray Vaughan was a big fan of a different kind of one. Anyway, let's have a listen, shall we?
It's very nice.
Such a cool sound. You could use it in lots of places. What you also saw Dan do there is on this particular one, if you step on the foot switch there, it slows it down. The old Leslie's had something called a break, and that's what gives you that really moving. It can be super expressive. Like if you're playing a song and it all breaks down and you're going into a quiet bit, putting that break on there is a super emotive thing to do.
Yeah, very cool.
How are you feeling about the chorus or the vent?
Well, chorus is my thing.
More usable, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if you're getting into modulation for the first time, a simple chorus is a really lovely thing to get used to, because what we're doing is we're modulating the pitch, right? And that pitch being modulated happens alongside your direct sound, which gives us that chorusing effect. There's so much to explore in that sound, and whereas the rotating speaker, I think, is the next step, is the step after the chorus.
Pedal number 7.
Pedal number 7.
I do. I think if you listen to, I don't know, a bunch of famous songs from the last 40 years, you're going to hear chorus on way more than you're going to hear rotary speaker.
Yeah.
So for that reason, chorus is in.
We're agreed. Chorus is in.
Happy days.
Lovely. Okay. So pedal number 6. We already have a delay on the pedal, but we're going to have a look at a character delay, and then we're also going to have a look at a reverb.
Yeah, I suppose once you get up to 5 or 6 pedals, you're in the realms of having something a little bit different at that point. You could either go for a duplication of one of your more utility pedals, or you could go for something weirdy-beardy, as we say. Yeah. Dan and I are massive, massive fans of delay, and it's not uncommon to have at least 2 delay pedals on a bigger pedal board because of the characters of their sound. In video 1, you heard the JHS Series 1. It's a very simple delay. It sounds great.
Yeah.
What we're going to introduce is something a little more complex in the Echorec. So we've done shows on Echorecs before. You can watch those if you go back to the video list. This is what's called a multi-head delay. So instead of just 1 delay line, it's got 4. And it's pretty interesting.
It's amazing.
Go for it, Dan. It's such a great sound. Once you get down to those shorter delay times, I'll make it really short for a sec.
And let's just hear the opposite end of that, a really nice long delay time. In the first video of the series, when we talked about having a long delay at a low level underneath what you're doing, I don't think there's a better delay for that than an Echorec style.
It almost does the job of a reverb.
Yeah.
Because you've got each of the, certainly if you put the swell, watch the old Echorec videos, it will explain it. It's a totally unique sound. You might recognize it from early Pink Floyd. It was used extensively there.
Yeah.
Add overdrive to that.
Yeah, it's pretty magic.
Pretty magic.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're loving the Echorec as a potential second delay. Let's change it up. There was a time where a pedal reverb was sacrilege to a lot of guitar players.
Misunderstood.
And also the early ones weren't great, to be fair.
Well, fair enough, yeah.
Because you would be attached to the reverb in your amplifier, which I'm now going to turn off. What we have is the brilliant TC Electronic Hall of Fame 2. Now this is has multiple digital emulations of famous reverbs. Dan.
for what I do, I'd be pretty lost without some of those reverb sounds. I love the Echorec. Love it. It's such an epic sounding thing. But I think having that on like all the time, the way that I would use a reverb, might get a little bit overkill for a whole gig.
The Echorec.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas you could use that
every day.
So out of the two, I think we're both leaning on the Hall of Fame at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, if those multi-head delays are really part of your thing, then maybe you would choose that over the something like the JHS Series 1 as one of your original three.
Yeah, there you go.
These are all about personal choices and they're all about the kind of music that you play. But I'm with you. I love reverb and I love different types of reverb. So the Hall of Fame's got it over the Echorec. Just want to do one final kind of wild card.
Okay.
Might seem like a slightly oddball choice. What you'll see on a lot of pedal boards or off to the side of a lot of pedal boards is a wah-wah pedal. And we know that from history. Jimi Hendrix, Slash, Kirk Hammett, absolutely used down the ages. Michael Schenker, you know, Steve Vai, keep reeling them off.
Yeah. And it's just, that's the thing that sweeps the filter range and you control that, the sweep with your foot.
And if you love that kind of sound, go for your life.
Yeah.
This is a slightly different take on a sound that can end up being similar. It's an envelope filter pedal.
Yeah.
Done. So we're using it in a, you know, we're laughing about it. It's been used really musically by a lot of cool artists. One recent one's been John Mayer. He's a big fan of it. Uses it in a beautiful way. It's
Guthrie
on
Govan
there.
uses them very musically.
Guthrie.
Yeah.
Loads of people down the years. It's on there to just sort of make the point that you don't have to stick to the normal effects. You could try a ring modulator or a Digitech whammy or something completely out there if you're sort of into more experimental kind of sounds.
Yep. There's a lot of really creative designers and these amazing companies who are putting out these pedals that you can just play one note and it'll create a symphony. It's really wonderful. And if that's what you're after, if you're after more experimental, textural type things, go and have a look at some of those things. They're great.
So
I think
much out there.
what we're looking at is because, you know, we're saying, okay, this is the next three, so basically our first six, and what are we going to use to get a broad, usable range of tones in, you know, let's say we've got a bunch of songs to do. We need to cover, a lot of ground.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reverb,
It's the
isn't
reverb.
it?
It's got to be the reverb.
Okay, when we come back, the board will be done and ready to go, and you can hear it all together.
All right. Back in the room.
There we are. Your first three guitar effects pedals and your next three guitar effects pedals. So what we've got, Dan?
We have our ODR1 overdrive, the Tumnus, another overdrive, so two gain stages, the Angel Wing chorus modulation, going into the delay, going into a tremolo, going into a reverb.
Two modulations, two times, two gains.
I like it.
So it makes
That's why I
six.
have one where you can have two.
Yeah,
of
exactly.
each.
Okay, then let's start off by seeing how these two overdrive pedals stack up with one another.
Lovely.
It's quite interesting.
can do that.
What's really nice about that is we're creating quite a lot of overdrive from the ODR1, and then there's plenty left to boost using the Tumnus.
Yeah, but the Tumnus by itself, if we just hear that by itself, is still a really usable...
Yeah.
Lovely.
Equally, we could do it the other way around. If we just wanted to create a bit of breakup in the ODR1 and boost that, we could do that.
So if you're new to this, it's called gain stacking, where we take our gain stages and we run one into the other.
Let's see loads of gain then. The nature of the Tumnus means it's always mid-pushed in that way.
Yeah.
So there's this way around, heavy rock is harder to come by.
Sure. Because you can't get rid of that mid-range.
Yeah, with humbuckers, perhaps slightly easier. If you were going for thicker, heavier rock overdrives, you'd probably want to put them the other way around.
Yeah.
We've done many videos on gain stacking in the past.
Yep.
Please check one of those out. Okay, that's the only potentially confusing bit about the order of this board, isn't it?
Yeah. Everything else is
Standard.
Yeah. People will ask us why we have the tremolo after the delay. We like having the tremolo either right at the end or just before the reverb. If you imagine that you've got all the delay repeats and then you put the tremolo into that, then you're going to get echoes of the amplitude modulation, as opposed to having the tremolo afterwards, where it's like a master volume for everything that's going into it.
Yeah.
You lose a bit of that tremolo effect if you have it before the delay.
We kind of work on the assumption that traditionally the tremolo would have been in the amp, so further down the chain makes sense.
And if you look at these two here, that's what's happening in a tremolo reverb amplifier. So it makes sense to have them like that.
Some amps it's the other way around, but
sure.
Anyway. Okay, let's just call up some... We've got our 6 pedals. Let's call up some sounds and see where we get then.
Great. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up like a big textural thing, right? So
it's a big surprise, Dan.
Indeed. So what I'll do, I'm going to start with the reverb, and I'm going to go for like a church, like a massive reverb thing. Okay?
Huge hall.
Huge hall. Now I want lots of warm delay. I'm going to put the ODR1 on for a little bit of gain. I'll turn the gain down, but just to have a little bit of something under the fingers so it's not just clean. So I'll turn these two off for a second. And I'm also going to put some tremolo on there as well. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put chorus and tremolo on there because I can. And turn the depth up, but the rate down, just to give me some movement.
That's for the solo, and I always love you, right?
Yeah. I will always like you.
Yeah.
A bit.
Yeah. Cool. Just shows the scope of what you can achieve, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, I'm going to set up, I guess, like a rock and roll-y sound. A couple of the sounds that I really love are short room reverbs to give a bit of roomy space to what you're playing. So I'll start there with the Hall of Fame. At the moment, Dan's got it on a plate, have you?
Church.
A church. Okay, so like a big hall reverb. I'm going to change that to a short room so you can hear the difference. Just on and off. A big fan of that.
Nice.
A bit of ambience. I'm going to put on a little bit of delay, and I call this an all-round delay, and it would be somewhere between 280 and 335 milliseconds or thereabouts. And it's what I always think of as that kind of not short, not too long, and as long as it's not too loud, it doesn't get in the way.
Yeah.
But it gives you a really nice.
It's a thickening effect.
Yeah, kind of. So. So that's delay and reverb without. can totally work with that.
There's nothing getting in the way there.
Yeah.
It's nice.
More gain if you need it for a bit more pokey, solo-y type stuff. Totally working.
Lovely.
If we go to a bit of 80s territory,
Come on.
I'm a big fan of a lot of those 80s players who spanned blues and rock, and you'll quite often hear a bit of chorus in that sound. It was created in a different way back then, but this will do. Always makes me think angular.
Right.
Bit of trem, just for fun. We've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
Huge amount of fun there.
Yeah.
Stackable gains, wobbly stuff.
Yeah. Lovely reverb options. Awesome.
Be pretty happy with that.
Yeah. I could easily take that board out tomorrow and play.
Yeah, so what we should have said at the top of the show, and we probably didn't, the specific choices of these pedals is not really the point. The fact that we've chosen the ODR1 and the Tumnus, great, you know, you might like the sound of them, but any two other overdrive pedals paired together.
Yeah.
As we were pushing stuff in and out, you know, to your taste, you might not like that delay, you might like a different delay.
Yeah.
2, 2 and 2, that really works for me.
Yeah. It's great.
2 drives, 2 mods, 2 times.
So there we go. Your first 3 pedals followed by your next 3 pedals. I would love to hear your thoughts. Let us know what your first 3 and your next 3 were. And how you use them. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Also, a massive thank you to anyone that's gone to thatpedalshowstore.com and grabbed some merch, hats and pedals and strings and t-shirts and
all that stuff. It's the main way we fund this show. Another way we help fund this show is at thatpedalshop.com. If you're in the US or Canada and you want to buy some pedals or some other stuff, please go there, thatpedalshop.com.
Indeed. Thank you to our preferred retailers in the UK and Europe is
Anderton's Music of Guildford in Surrey.
And our friends in Australia.
Pedal Empire of Brisbane in Queensland.
Indeed. Of course, a massive thank you to our patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate it.
Thank you kindly.
Have a fantastic week. We'll see you on Monday for viewers, comments and questions where we can discuss all things pedal related and whatever.
We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.